Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first X-Men election debate. I am your host, Scott Summers. Thank you so much for joining us for one of many debates among the various candidates for the final member of the X-Men. Yes, good. Thank you. We have two candidates here today. Our first, mutant name, Boom Boom. Hello, Boom Boom. How are you?
Yeah, what's up? Period. Yeah. Oh, dad. Ugh.
Excellent. And we also have our second candidate, Lorna Dane, mutant name, Polaris. Polaris, how are you? Thank you so much for being here.
I mean, I'm fine, I guess. I really don't want to be here.
Wonderful. All right, our first question goes to you, Boom Boom. Boom Boom, why should you be a member of the X-Men?
All right, so look. Have we seen these X-Men teams? I mean, let's just face it. It's just filled with a bunch of uggos, really gross, ugly people. And I'm sorry, but if we're going to be the face of mutantdom and we're going to be like what's going to be on magazines and what's going to be on TV, we need some people that look hella cute. And you know who looks hella cute? Me. Plus, I have some really cool powers. I can take my bomb and stick it up Trump's butt and blow him up.
All right, that is time. Thank you so much, Boom Boom. Polaris, same question for you. Why do you think you should be a member of the X-Men?
Well, Scott, I really got to be honest with you. I don't think I should be a member of the X-Men. I'm very happy with what's happening with me in X Factor, and I wouldn't want that disrupted. So please don't vote for me.
Oh my God, are you getting me doing the jerk-off motion?
That is disgusting.
I agree, that is disgusting. Second question goes to you, Boom Boom. Boom Boom, if you were a member of the X-Men, what would be your personal mission?
I don't know. My personal mission is to basically not be crazy. And if we actually look at the past and read the archives, Miss Lorna Dane not only used to be possessed by an evil villain, she also has bipolar disorder, so she's a fucking lunatic. Are you gonna trust the safety of Krakoa with a woman who not only is nuts, but also has green hair?
Lorna Dane, your response.
Fine, I'm crazy, good. I'm nuts. Okay, I'm psycho, fine, good. And I have green hair. Ooh, I look so weird. Please don't vote for me. Thank you.
All right, and now our final question for you, Boom Boom. Boom Boom, who is your personal favorite X-Man?
I mean, I don't know. I guess just me? It has to be me. It's me. Thank you.
Wonderful. Polaris, who is your favorite X-Man?
Oh, wait, let me guess. Yours should be like, oh, it's not me. It's anyone but me. No. Let's hear this. I can't wait.
It's actually still Havoc.
Oh, wow. That's really awesome.
Excuse me.
Oh, God.
Hey, it's me, Mero. It's me, Mero. Why am I not part of this debate?
Mero, you are scheduled for the next upcoming debate. You'll have your turn.
Yeah, yours isn't televised because we all know you aren't going to win.
That's right, Mero. You are not going to win.
Oh, wow, I just boned myself.
All right. Thank you so much for this first X-Men election debate. Tune in next week for our second, probably. And now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 166 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. I am your host, Brett. It's election season for the X-Men, and joining me here for this epic event is our co-host, Evil Jeff. Hi, Evil.
I mean, please, you thought the recent elections were interesting? Child's play. This is what I'm here for.
This is big. This is the event of the century. Evil Jeff, between Boom Boom and Polaris, who would you give it to?
Well, I have already voted, and unfortunately, my vote did go to one Boom Boom.
Yes, as did mine. Surprise, we voted for the same character. Yay, that's why we do a show together.
Well, it's like you honestly need, she's like the Cordelia in Buffy. You know what I mean? You need that
yes.
that wise ass.
Yes, exactly. The one that can't be controlled, the one that mouths off, but has a heart of gold. We love that character. This is very exciting. So I think it's a very cool thing from a marketing standpoint that Marvel is doing.
It's fun.
They have announced that we, the fans, can vote for the final member of the new X-Men roster, and they gave a series of candidates. The big controversy is they released polling results. And I'm sorry, this is our Hot Topic segment. Cue the music.
What are you gonna hit? Hot Topics.
Yay. So anyway, as I was saying, Marvel is doing the X-Men voting. We are picking the final member of the X-Men. They released some early voting numbers, and it seems Polaris is in the lead with 22% of the vote. And us X-Men fans, those of us that live on Krakoa, are pretty up in arms because we love what Leia Williams is doing with Polaris. We don't want Polaris touched. We think that she was in the lead because of all those goddamn casuals, aka the gifted fans.
But I think it's also just that it then, I don't know, for me it's like she's already the head of another book. Like she doesn't need to be, we don't need her in the X-Men team. You know what I mean? She's already doing something awesome. Because I love Polaris. If Polaris wasn't in X Factor, then I might vote for her. But right now, she's already on another goddamn team.
And we're doing things with her that we've never done before. Like we're self-actualizing her. We're seeing who she is. So I'd like to stay on that journey, please.
And for those that are not in the know, this is the list of the candidates that you can vote for. And I would just say, look it up on Google. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's it's marvel.com/X-Men vote is where you can go. And the candidates are Armor, Banshee, Boom Boom, Cannonball, Forge, Marrow, Polaris, Strong Guy, Sunspot, and Tempo. And I did look up a lot of writers and artists of the X-Men are giving their 2 cents of who to vote for.
Ooh, what are they saying?
Well, Zeb Wells and Leah Williams said Marrow, which is wrong. She's awful.
Well, Leah Williams just wants you to not vote for Polaris, please. No, I'm sure. But there are a lot of people who want Marrow. I can see the appeal of Marrow. I don't share it.
But she was just recently in X-Force with Psylocke and Cable, and she was awful. I hate her. Pepe Larraz voted for Armor, Boom Boom, or Polaris.
Ooh.
Thank you. So I think it's Teenie Howard wants Cannonball.
Oh, cute.
I think for me, is there any on that list that you're just like, no, immediately no?
No, there isn't. And here's why. I can't decide really who and who should not be on this team. Do you know why, Evil Jeff?
Why?
Because I don't know who the rest of the team is.
Yes.
I don't know.
We need to know. Like that's like trying to like.
What do you need?
Yeah. What do you already have a telepath? Do you already have a speedster? Do you already have someone strong? Yeah, if Colossus is on it, do you need a strong guy? If Sage is on it, do you need Forge? It's those types of things. I will say Forge, I feel Forge is a behind the scenes like Q. He's the Q.
Yeah, he's not, I don't see him on the...
I don't
want him running around a battlefield with a plant suit on.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. I also kind of like Cannonball and Sunspot in space, so I'm not necessarily in favor of them. And then here's an unpopular opinion. One, I just always found Armor kind of boring.
Yeah.
And Banshee, I just have always never found Banshee interesting, ever.
So are you picking Strong Guy?
I like, and I hate Marrow, so I like Boom Boom, Polaris, Strong Guy, or Tempo, I think would be cool additions.
Tempo would be a great story.
I also like the idea of Tempo, who started out as a villain.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a villain
model.
kind of being risen up.
Yeah, we love that.
Strong Guy, though, I feel, we'll get to it in the New Mutants, but I feel like he has a potential, he has a comeuppance coming up in the New Mutants, I think, that they're setting up.
Aha, and we will get to that. I think you're absolutely right. I picked who I think should be the X-Men a while ago, and I did it, kind of by power and by character personality. Yeah. But I always lead with power. Like I go, you need a telepath. You need like someone who can like a long range attacker. You need somebody with super strength. And my super strength person was actually Sunspot.
Oh, there you go.
My team is Cyclops, Jean Grey, Dazzler, X-23, Sunspot, and Darwin is who I picked like a few weeks ago.
I think that sounds fun.
That's a fun team, right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Do you think they're going to... Remember when the X-Men always used to do the thing where they would like debut the team and it was all like inked out and then every day they would like reveal one of them? I wonder if they're. I
love that.
I wonder if they're going to do that shit again.
I love that shit so hard. I love
it, and it drives me crazy, but I love it.
I know. I always look at like, oh, that looks like it could be. That's Bishop's cape. Oh, I love it. Should we talk about those X-Men comics?
I think maybe we should. Let's get a little Xy. Hit it.
Hit it.
I want your X.
Okay, we have 4 X-Men books. 4. To talk about. 4 came out in 1 week. 4.
It's crazy. But I will say we actually have some new sponsors. So before we start each new segment, we actually are going to have a commercial.
We're going to run the ads, yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to have we're just going to pause for a brief bit and we're going to have 2 commercials. So, just be happy for us that we have sponsors and we're getting some money. Okay? Because otherwise we've been giving this to you for free. So stop complaining. All right, here's some brief sponsorship. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. My name's Sam Guthrie, but you can call me Cannonball, your next X-Man. Listen, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to work for a living, just like you. I know what it's like to get crushed by debt and rubble, just like you. And I know what it's like to ignore the baby I have in space with a Shi'ar Super Guardian, just like you. So vote for me, the relatable candidate. And remember, you'll feel nigh invulnerable when casting your vote for me, Sam Guthrie. Mutant name, Cannonball. I'm Cannonball, and I approve this message. Wow, that was great.
All right, we got one more. Here, let's listen to it. What do you think of when you think of X-Men? Do you think of the words villain? Do you think of the words evil? Do you think of the words untrustworthy? Do you think of the word tempo? No, you don't. You don't think of any of those things. Tempo is the least qualified candidate for the X-Men the X-Men have ever seen. If she joins the X-Men, we are convinced that all of them will die within the first week out of complete betrayal. Do you trust her? Because Krakoa sure doesn't. Who do you want on your team? Paid for by Cannonball. Wow.
Wow, okay.
Wow,
all right, let's get into it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, so we have 4 X books. Wolverine number 9 being our first one. And you know how we feel about the Wolverines and the X-Forces of the world, but I thought Wolverine number 9, an issue that kind of checked in with Patch, Wolverine's alter ego at a kind of a charity for what is it? An auction, charitable auction for supervillains.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Evil Jeff?
First of all, it's set up with this premise of like, are we living by the Clark Kent premise that like when he puts a patch on that no one knows who the fuck he is? But I think it was clear that everyone knew it was Wolverine. So I was okay. And I will say, if we remember, Gen X just recently did a bunch of bad guys. Remember when Quentin Quire and Benjamin Deeds and Hindsight had to like meet Fenris. It was like all the villains voting on things.
A very, very like bougie kind of.
And then also,
like
I think, was it Leia Williams who does fuck? Why can't I think of her name? Jessica Jones. Who does Jessica Jones?
Kelly Thompson.
Kelly Thompson. Shit. Sorry. So Kelly.
Anytime you say Leia Williams, it's Kelly Thompson.
So Kelly Thompson did Jessica Jones. Remember there was like a Jessica Jones thing where her and Luke Cage like went to some auction and they
like
were
a villain auction.
They were selling like her daughter's DNA or some shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is just a thing that has been like just driven into the ground
what
to
a trope.
death. It's a trope to death. But I will say, would I much rather listen to this than fucking vampires and Dracula? 100%. So I actually didn't mind this one because it's like fun fighting. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love like our hero needs to get dressed up in a tuxedo or an evening gown, infiltrate a thing teeming with bad people, and antics ensue. It's a great formula, and it was a good issue. The antics in this case, Wolverine sees two things at this auction that disturb him. One is his own severed hand. And he's like, when did that happen? How? We don't know.
Also, I guess it's like, how did you cut off through adamantium?
Sure. Who knows? With other adamantium?
I guess so.
I don't know. But he's like, well, memory's full of holes. I'm sure that happened at some point.
Pause just really quick, Brett. What is stronger, adamantium or vibranium?
I believe it's adamantium.
So the only thing that can cut through adamantium is an adamantium blade?
Kind of like diamond.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and then we have Maverick. Maverick's on
Maverick.
The block. Do you know
Maverick's
what Maverick's powers are? I had to look it up.
I'm just Maverick on the block. I don't know.
He basically can it's similar to Sebastian Shaw, where he can just absorb all impacts. So he could just like jump off a building.
I never knew that.
And land. He can get punched and it just doesn't hurt him. He can't release it back like Sebastian Shaw can, apparently. But he basically is just like pretty invulnerable to any kind of projectile force.
Okay. Thank you.
So I never knew that either because I don't care about Maverick.
Well, this issue was kind of cool in that it goes through the history of Wolverine and Maverick, who were both on Team X, Weapon X, how their memories have continuously been erased. They've continuously been mind wiped and very Winter Soldier, deprogrammed, reprogrammed. But they had this thing that they would say to each other to kind of check back in and to try to kind of reconnect with their core identities and ground themselves. And so when Wolverine sees an amnesiac Maverick on the auction block, he says the words and kind of snaps Maverick out of it, leaving the two of them to fight it out, and we'll see out of the auction.
Now
and we'll see that next
I have
issue.
a technical question. Has Xavier ever had to reload a memory in a body that's not dead but just been mind wiped?
Oh, that's fun.
Because that's what I'm wondering. Can Xavier just give him his memory since they're probably downloaded somewhere?
Well, a lot of these memories are from before. A lot of these memories are from well before any of, like, he even met Xavier.
True.
So no.
All right. Okay. Well, that Wolverine happened.
And Wolverine is a comic book. And what do you want to talk about next, Evil Jeff?
How about we do some New Mutants?
Oh my God, I love it. You know why I love it? Because I loved it. I actually loved this issue a lot.
I like that it was bringing up real character development of things that if you read the comics, and I do hate the idea that it's like doing fan service or something, but for people who've read the comics since for, you know, how long have we been reading comics? For 20 some years. I like that it's like, yeah, fucking Wolfsbane has a kid that was murdered by Strong Guy. That's a thing that would fuck her up. Like, so let's address that fucked up thing.
You know, it's funny. This run started with the very first page we saw was Rain sitting on Krakoa looking happy. And I believe it was Danny who then came up to her and was like, yep, everything is wiped away. We can start over. And so at that moment, I remember thinking, yeah, let's never mention the sun again. Well,
but I think she was probably happy because she's like, I'm going to get my son back.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, ho, ho, but there's some red tape. And that red tape is X Factor because you need proof.
You need proof.
Proof.
You ain't got proof.
But so I guess so back then, Tyr is the son's name. Peter David's run of X Factor. Strong Guy was resurrected with no soul, so he was kind of had some morality issues. And Tyr was going to take over Hell, was killing all of the Hell gods. And right before he could kill Mephisto, I believe, Strong Guy stabbed him with like a trident and murdered him. And then he like disappeared into thin air. I don't know. I feel that is a technicality. That sounds pretty dead, don't you think?
I think it's fair. Well, I mean, you're dealing with magic and Hell and Limbo and Mephisto, and like he just disappeared. So
they're saying that's not good enough. We're not going to bring him back because he could technically have disappeared and gone somewhere.
Yeah.
So she's basically shit out of luck. She can't get her son back.
Right.
So my thing is, I want to see where Strong Guy is in all this, because Strong Guy has Strong Guy been resurrected? Did Strong Guy die since again? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Does Strong Guy, did he get his soul back? I forget then what happened with him.
Yeah, we have to check back in. I'm pretty sure he did get his soul back.
Yeah, so that's the thing is, can you be mad at someone that did something without their soul?
Right.
It's the typical Buffy,
like,
Angelus problem.
I can't even get mad at friends like for doing things when they're drunk, let alone soulless.
Yeah, but let's say one of your friends got drunk and killed your husband. Are you just going to be like, hey?
Oh, I blame them.
So my thing is, knowing how Rain tends to get a little dramatic, I'm very much looking forward to a confrontation between her and Strong Guy.
I like that. Other relationships I'm digging in this book are Daken and... I'm going to start saying Daken. Daken and...
Is that how you say it?
I think so. Honey Badger?
Why are they calling her Scout?
Ugh, I know. Why did you change that? Why? What is the reasoning? Honey Badger's so good. Scout is so bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is happening?
I don't know
what is
why
happening?
That was decided. I mean, Scout isn't like that offensive to me. But I just don't get it.
Honey Badger nailed it.
I don't get it. But here's the weird thing is like they're setting something up. Like she's being put through it. Like she's being ostracized. They're now saying like, is she even a real person? Like she's like basically, she's basically like full teen angst.
Yeah, and her like father figure older brother is like, look, I love you, but I'm kind of too cool for you.
Well, I think more it's just like, hey, I just want to fuck this girl right now.
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone. And then her sister is gone. Wolverine's always busy doing stuff. And then she's like, hey, I know these new members. Remember we were in Nate Gray's version of the X-Men world? And they're all like, oh, that wasn't us because we're dead and we were resurrected from Genosha. So we don't even know who the fuck you are. And she's like, oh, nobody likes me. So I'm waiting for her to have like a Dazzler goth moment where she's going to like,
oh yeah,
dye her hair black, start listening to The Cure. Like that shit's going to happen. And I'm here for it.
We also have the relationship between, Cosmar and the other freaky looking mutants and Amal Farouk and most importantly, Danny Moonstar. Ooh, Danny done stepped in it.
Yeah. Well, so what are we going to talk about first? Danny or Amal Farouk?
Let's talk about the Danny thing because I'm obsessed with this idea of wanting to use the resurrection protocols to fix your face.
But that's the thing is like, guess what? I asked this before. Can Hellion go get resurrected so he can get his hands back? No. That's why Karma can't get her leg back. If I was Karma, I would have walked up like, bitch, you think I want my fucking leg? I think it is like, very interesting.
This is not cosmetic surgery.
But let's be honest. Would anyone want to fuck Cosmar looking like that? Probably not.
I mean, it looks like Rainbow does.
But she doesn't want Rainbow. Does she?
His wet dick.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Look. Here's where I'm at. Like, Cosmar's like, no, it's because when my power is activated, like, I freaked out and I fucked up my face, but let me just restart. So I'll be cool with my powers when I come back. And Danny's like, it doesn't work like that. I'm like, then teach her how to use her powers to fix a face. If her powers caused her face, then just teach. Cosmar, you don't need to die. Just study, and someone will teach you how to fix your face back.
Also, but then is there a rule that if they're like, no, you can't, and then you kill yourself, do you just get put on a longer waiting list and don't get resurrected? I would have looked right in Danny Moonstar's face, taken a beer bottle, crashed it, and slit my fucking throat in front of her.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Also, my other question is, can she get those braces taken off at least?
I feel like that's the true source of her power, so no.
Once your face gets fucked like that, like, you don't need braces anymore.
Yeah, your crooked teeth are the least of your problems.
It's been done. Like, it's just not it. Like, let's just move on. Oh my God. But let's talk about
just trying to look my best.
I know. Can you imagine just being like, yeah, your whole face looks like a big frying pan full of crap, but the crooked teeth were like, yeah. But now the Amal Farouk thing, the thing that's disturbing me about him, I do not see him talking to anyone else except those people. Was he resurrected? Do other people even know he's there?
Do you think we're going to get like a Bruce Willis kind of thing?
That's what I'm wondering. Does anyone else even know he's there? I also feel like, how do you just resurrect Amal Farouk with the Shadow King and just be like, all right, have fun, bye?
This is I like this a lot, Evil Jeff. What if he was never resurrected?
And they just
he's just like psychically there.
That's what I'm thinking, because I do feel like you can't, like even though these people are evil, like, you fucking keep tabs on people that are like potentially, like, he fucking had Xavier trapped for the equivalent of hundreds of years on an astral plane. I don't think he'd be like, yeah, do whatever you want, have fun in Krakoa. Like,
try the Green Lagoon. There's drink specials every night.
So there is something going on, and he's being all like child molestery, where he's like, "Oh yes, children," and then it like cuts to him like making these creepy grins. Ugh, it's creepy. So I want answers.
He's drinking. I don't like it. Listen, there's someone else who I'd like to check in with, and he was not a prominent part of this issue, but he was in it. But if you kind of check in with what he's doing in the background, it brings up some worry. I'm talking about Warlock.
Oh, what is he doing in the background?
Oh my God. So look at the scene when they cut like the establishing shot of the Green Lagoon.
Okay.
Like where you see Bob, like it's like the wide shot. You see Dazzler on stage. You see Blob at the bar.
Okay.
Now look for Warlock.
Fuck. Stupid ads. Okay. How far into it is it?
I'd say it's in the middle.
Is it when they're at partying?
Yeah, it's the establishing shot of everyone at the bar.
Okay. And Warlock, here we go. I think, okay, got it. Warlock.
You see him back there?
Yeah. He's
Look
just
at
at the bar.
his face.
Oh, he looks sad?
He looks pissed and sad,
yes.
and he's talking to Brew. But he's really mad and really sad.
Oh, and the other thing in the background, he looks sad, upset too.
And he's drinking, and then the next time you see him, he's on the dance floor like, "Woo, I don't care." He is having some emotions.
He's mad that Doug
yes
left him. I will say I miss the Peter David wrote a great thing between them in X Factor, and then it got canceled and it never was continued, where Warlock fell in love with Danger. And then Danger wanted to fuck, but then Cypher fucked Danger, and then Warlock was like, "Fuck you, you fucked the girl I liked."
Fuck you.
And they were like angry at each other. And it was the first thing was like their friendship was tested, but then it was like totally gone. But I feel like I am very interested if someone who is clearly like living as part of Doug in disguise for a very long time on Krakoa. And now he's just like, oh, now I have this like wife and now you're not part of me. Bye. That is probably going to fuck him up.
It is. All right. Well, we also have X-Men and Excalibur. What do you want to do next?
Let's talk about whichever one you want. I feel like they both.
How about Excalibur?
Fun. Let's do it.
Number 17.
Excalibur.
So here we are on our. It's totally our updated cross-time caper.
But it seems to come to an end very quickly.
That's true, unless. Well, let's talk about it.
Oh.
So we check in with Betsy Braddock. It seems that Betsy Braddock's consciousness has been put into that of another Betsy Braddock in a different reality. And in this reality, this Betsy Braddock is Queen of England.
Yes.
So you've got our Betsy in the body of Queen of England Betsy. And she is there with her paramour, Warren Worthington III. Hello.
Yummy, yummy.
And she's like, look, since it's you, Angel, and you're an X-Man and you're cool with this kind of thing, I ain't your Betsy.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, all right. Let me process it. Okay, we're good. What do you need?
But good news, she had a contingency plan for that.
Which is what?
What was it? Oh, it was just basically saying like there's a chance this might happen, but you need to fucking go home. I'm just talking about that letter in case of omniversal trouble.
Yeah, oh, I love that. So yeah, the Queen Betsy is like, look, it's very possible that I'm going to get body swapped with a different Elizabeth. I'm like, okay, Queen Betsy rocks. I argue that at the end, though, I don't know. Do you think this is our Betsy? Yeah, it's probably our Betsy who shows up at the end. It is. I thought it was like, oh, is this Queen Betsy at the end?
Oh,
maybe?
we never know.
It's meant to be like our Betsy escapes out of that world and winds up in ours. But part of me is like, or are they tricking us? Is this Queen of England Betsy who shows up in our reality?
It could be either way. I do find it very interesting that as she goes through the thing, I feel like if it was the other way, then the other Betsy, the Queen Betsy, would have been on 616 much longer before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
But my favorite thing is that who does Warren? It's like the one thing that Betsy said is she's like, this is weird because we were together on my world, but we were never together in this body. Like when I looked like this. And that was such a weird thing. And he's like, I don't know what you mean. And then he's like, oh, by the way, here's my ex-wife, Quanon.
Oh my God.
That was so perfect. Like, of course. So good. Of course he'd want both of them. He wants Psylocke and Quanon. Or Betsy and Quanon. It's perfect.
I love him.
Or Conan. It's Conan?
Yeah, I think so. And then Betsy and Conan have this kind of adventure together to get Betsy back to 616. And the whole time Conan's like, stop looking at me. What is wrong with you? You have staring. Why do you have a staring problem? Why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah. And then she's like, hey, I used to have your body. And she's like, all right, get the fuck out of here. And get the fuck back in your dimension. I don't want to fucking hear about it. But I used to have your body. I miss it.
I used to have your body. I miss it. Bye. I'm so sorry. It's like, what are you sorry for? Leave.
There's so many, like, do you ever think, now, never mind, it's going to be, I wonder if, like, is it racist for her to miss that body?
Or is there a weird thing where she felt more attractive in that body? Like, I wonder if she looked at Warren and was like, oh, he's not going to want me. I look like this.
Yeah. Can you imagine if she starts doing her makeup to like make it look like she has more of an Asian eye, and then Conan is like, "What are you doing?"
She's like, "All right, that's it. I've been ignoring you this whole time.
To address
I can ignore you no longer.
You are out of control." But I love that. And then meanwhile, back on 616, Pete Wisdom, he fucking hates Krakoa. I didn't realize he had up until this issue he had never even stepped foot on it. He hates it so much.
Which makes me love Pete Wisdom. Because I, too, would be like, I don't want any part of this kumbaya shit. You know it's doomed, right?
Yeah. And he's having to deal with, the Akaba?
Yeah, the clan of Akaba.
The clan of Akaba, and they're basically like, well, Captain Britain's not here, so let's just go fuck shit up because there's not a Captain Britain and should have been a mutant and blah, 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 blah.
And he's like, I'll go find her. Just shut up.
And a big battle ensues because now it looks like the Excalibur team is going to live in the lighthouse. But then the fucking Akaba start like taking a fucking bulldozer sledgehammer. Wait, what is that thing? Wrecking ball.
Yeah.
They came in like a wrecking ball.
And they're like, not our home.
And they're like fucking coming after him and they're battling them. And then thank God, right at the right opportunity, Betsy finally shows up. And they're like, oh, here she is. You all can go. Ugh. I will say I have no idea where this is going. And I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that people dislike that I personally like about this book is that it's confusing at times. I like that.
But here's the thing, and I really feel it's confusing, but for me, because I have read the Captain Britain and Excalibur series hundreds of times.
Yeah.
I know so much of the background and have such a base knowledge that I think it all makes sense to me. And I have a feeling someone not knowing all of that, it probably is like, what is all of this? And I would just say, read the original run of Excalibur, one of the best comic book runs. I mean, you don't have to read like, what is it, like 28 through like 45?
75?
No. When Alan Davis comes back by himself.
Oh, yeah.
That there's like that brief period where it's amazing, and then after like 70, then it like goes to garbage again.
Yeah, they add Colossus. It's horrible.
But I'm excited for that. And that's the thing. What you said, it is all possible. She is not we do not 100% know who that Betsy is. And I will say the other thing, I love this art. I really like the art.
I love Marcus Toe's art.
I'm not really into like the New Mutants art. I'm not really into like the Wolverine art, but I am really into this art.
I'll tell you the art I'm not into is Brett Booth's run on X-Men number 17 though.
Oh shit. You don't like it?
No, I don't.
What don't you like about it?
It's too 90s.
Yes. I mean, it's 100% just Jim Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, not only does it look like Jim Lee drawings, they're literally wearing the same outfits. Like it's
like Jim
costumes.
Lee and Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. I almost feel like he like copied like X-Men number 1 from the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott and Jean are in their old X Factor costumes, which is cute. I love it. I love the rotational costume thing. I love that these are just their mutant clothes and they'll wear whatever they're feeling.
Yeah. What did you think of this? Because this is dealing with the fact that the Shi'ar Empire, there's basically the economy crashed and they're blaming...
I love that.
Zandra.
I do love that. Zandra. I love the cataclysmic event across Marvel books that basically the universal economy in all galaxies has collapsed.
And they're blaming Zandra. So basically kind of the lower class that were like the servants and stuff are starting an uprising.
They rose up.
And they've kidnapped Zandra and are going to kill her. What are Zandra's powers again? I remember she was an egg and then she wasn't an egg, but she has powers, right?
Is she just psychic? Like she could hide. She could like hide. I don't remember.
I mean, she's clearly a telepath. I also feel that like, has Xavier ever talked to her yet?
Probably not, that bastard.
What a dick. I feel that's kind of a dick move.
Fuck him. Oh, he's doing great things with the mutant race, but honestly, what a dick.
He's a bad... Okay, so who are his kids?
Legion,
Zandra. He's not...
And then that awful... Isn't there like a kid on the awful Brian Michael Bendis evil future team with Ice Wizard? Right? Wasn't there like a little Xavier?
Oh, right. There was like someone, he had a son with some other X-Men or something.
Ugh, yeah, some.
Basically, he's a bad dad. But sometimes, you know what? The most powerful men
in the world
are bad dads. Bill Clinton.
Cannonball.
No,
Cannonball is like, oh, hold on, I gotta babysit my kid. Babysit, homeboy, we call that parenting. Like,
yeah, that's
babysit.
fucking bullshit. Yeah.
A lot of Sunspot, Cannonball, and Smasher in
also,
this issue, which is always
there was
great.
a text exchange. I mean, basically, it's like they basically said that they fucked. They fucked. He was like, I know we don't have a conventional friendship. I'm like, that literally means you have slept together.
They absolutely have a physical relationship.
The only thing I question is like, are you sleeping with so he's with Bird Smasher now. Wait, right? Deathbird, Bird Smasher.
Sunspot's with Deathbird, and Cannonball is married to Smasher.
Smasher. I love how I called her Bird Smasher. I just merged them together. And actually, do you know why? Because when I made my fake X-Men group when I was a kid, they were called the Aerials, and the bad guys were called the Darkwings, because both teams could fly, and there was a character called Bird Smasher.
Ooh.
That's why that came into my head. All right. Anyway, so Sunspot is fucking Deathbird, but also, like, isn't Deathbird like hundreds of years old? Like, Deathbird's she's old.
She's robbing the cradle.
And how old is Sunspot? He's supposed to be like 22.
I mean, he's accomplished. He's probably 30 at this point.
No.
25.
No.
25.
No. Because he was like 14 when the New Mutants started. So is it 10 years have passed?
But he also like ran AIM. You have to be an adult to do that.
Well, no, because he's rich.
Ugh.
Tell that to Vivendi. They're all fucking children.
I hate Vivendi.
Vivendi.
Vivendi is a ticketing software.
I am literally a grandmother. Hey, did you see that Vivendi?
Listen, you know who else is rich with story potential is this Aurora Monroe. Now,
oh, fuck.
She saves Xandra, and Xandra's like, look, honey, anything you need. Seriously, mama, anything you need.
And Storm just fucking gives a smirk. She's like, I'm going to think about this, and I will be back to you.
She's like, will you blow up a certain king of Wakanda?
What?
Because I'm mad at him.
That's the thing is like, what does she want? What does Storm want? And this is why the thing that I miss. And this is where it's like when Storm came into her full self, like right after the Dark Phoenix saga, and she was officially like, I am the leader of the X-Men.
Yeah.
And she started going through it, and she was kind of like, I don't know who I am. Kind of like how Polaris was like, she's like, I don't know who I am. And then she like goes to Japan and meets Yukio and is like, oh my God, I want to do this. She gives herself a mohawk. She goes to the Morlocks and fucking kills Callisto. And she's like, oh, I'm going through shit. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck I am. I feel like the same thing is happening, but I want more. I want some more Storm-centric inner monologues. We haven't had an inner monologue from Storm in a long time, and I think we need one.
I do too. I just love the question, what does Storm want?
Yeah, let's get a Chris Claremont, like 10 pages of thought bubbles.
Yeah.
Like there's no thought bubbles anymore. I
want a
thought
whole
bubbles.
issue of just Storm taking a shower in the sky, thinking.
Yes, please. Like, remember, what is it? Love, Death? What's the one with her and Forge? Where she's just walking around his, image and, holographic apartment, looking at her past and thinking of her life. And do I love Forge, but I want my powers? Do I hate him? Do I love him? I need that shit. She has so much shit going on. Let's give her a goddamn issue, please.
They will. We will.
Yes. I can't wait.
A lot of setup. Oh, what a journey. We're in space. We're on Krakoa. It's...
Oh, my God.
It's insane. Evil Jeff.
Yes.
I feel like instead of discussing other comic books, we should skip to a different medium.
Okay. But I think we should just cut really quick to one of our sponsors.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So before we hit our next segment, here is some more sponsorship ads.
I was having dinner with my son. It was a Saturday at 4 o'clock. We decided to have an early dinner. to get home early and watch a movie before he had to go to bed. I'm sitting there at the diner with my son, and there was a group of teenagers a few booths over. They were laughing, they were carrying on, they were dressed wildly. And I thought they might be mutants. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And then suddenly I felt a tingling around my bottom. And I heard some laughing. And then I heard a woman counting 3, 2, 1. And then boom! Somebody had put a bomb in my butt. My pants had blown, and my pants were hanging down, and my bare butt was black and smoky, and it was sticking out of the hole in my pants that the bomb created. My son looked at me and cried and said, "Daddy, why is everyone seeing your butt?" And I took home my crying son and lost my job. And that bomb was put there by Boom Boom. She ruined my life, and she doesn't deserve to be an X-Man. Paid for by Banshee.
Oh my god, so I got stupid mutant powers. My powers are, I can just fart through my nose, and it's embarrassing. And I was like, how am I ever gonna be cool? But then I met this guy named Forge, and he gave me this plant weapon. And so now when I'm in school with the other kids, I can still have cool powers. I thought of something, and he built it. That's right, I'm Forge. You have crappy powers? Think of something that you'd rather those powers to be? I can build it. I'll tell you what, I got a plan for it. You want to be an X-Man? You can be an X-Man, even if your powers suck. I got a plan for it, and I'm telling you, if you make me an X-Man, I will give you all cooler plant powers with my magic brain. Vote for me, Forge. I got a plan for it. Ha ha!
Wow, I gotta say that Forge is really good at communicating. He really understands that the phrase magic brain will probably get through to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And help really explain mutant powers.
Really going off the Elizabeth Warren kind of like...
Yeah, I got a plant for that, I think is what he said.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we want to enter the world of TV now, don't we?
That's correct.
Hit that music. WandaVision! WandaVision!
We got some WandaVision to talk about.
Let's talk about WandaVision episode 4. Nice to see an episode in widescreen.
Yeah, we're now just like, okay. And this is, what did you think of this episode?
When I saw the title of the episode, when I saw that it was We Now Interrupt This Program,
right,
I thought that we might visit the outside world, and we did. So automatically, what I was hoping for was happening, and I was very happy. And then my happiness carried through for the entire rest of the issue. How about you?
I will say this. My only problem is, and this might just be, I feel we are too smart. So the problem is, it's like...
You expected it?
It's everything that we guessed would happen. It was what was happening. So...
We're too smart. We're too imbued in the genre.
At one point, so part of me was happy, like, yeah, but I was watching it with my boyfriend, and he's like, why are we already knew all this was going to happen. Why do we need to watch this? And then I was like, because I think a lot of people... had no idea that this was going to happen.
Well, so do you know what the number one trending topic was on Twitter after the episode aired?
Ant-Man?
It was House of M.
Oh.
House of M. Yeah, I think a lot of people came to the realization, oh, it's MCU House of M, which I feel like we knew, but we never articulated it like that.
Yeah. Well, I think House of M, think of House of M of the Aftermath, which in Mutants were erased, but we forget. House of M is actually, she created a whole reality that everyone lived in.
Yes.
Where it was basically what she wanted to happen was happening. Where she had her 2 kids. And
where everything was great.
Yes. So the thing that I loved about this is the idea of, hey, we're going to take a character from Ms. Marvel, we're going to take a character from Thor, and we're going to take a character from Ant-Man, and they are all going to seamlessly be in the same goddamn show, and you're going to feel like they should have been there, like that it was all planned 100 years ago, that this is how it was
incredible.
supposed to be.
It's incredible.
So great. Now,
it all fit together so beautifully.
So the other thing I loved is that we addressed, apparently, Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau was snapped.
Yes.
We've discovered that Monica Rambeau was snapped. So
her mother, Maria, was not.
Now, did you notice, okay, as someone who, I don't want to get picky because in the end I don't care, but there is a discrepancy of how people were snapped back.
What do you mean?
When are the 2 times we've seen people snapped back besides... one, we see people get snapped back in this issue where their dust reforms and the people come back in the hospital. What's the other movie where we see people snapped back?
Spider-Man Far From Home.
And how did they snap back? They just popped and appeared.
Oh, yeah.
So, Of course, my head, I'm like, how come those people dusted back and those people just popped back? And I know in the end where it's like, really? Are you going to be one of those? And I'm like, I can't. All right, I'm not going to be one of those. Like, what's the comic character from The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm turning into him. Like, excuse me. Why did they pop back in Spider-Man but dusted back in WandaVision? Explain.
Yeah. Well, what I thought was interesting from the effect of them coming back and blipping back, by the way, insane that we captured that we saw that in kind of like a serious context, because Far From Home did it for comedy. And that's part of the reason why the effect was different. But this did it for seriousness, and it showed you the chaos that ensued when Hulk snapped everybody back, and they all formed back where they were. It was incredible. So that's where we pick up Monica Rambeau. She returns from being snapped back and learns that 5 years have passed, and in that 5 years, Maria, played by Lashana Lynch in Captain Marvel, has died. But that's not all we learn about Maria.
You know what? I'm sorry. I have to say this out loud because my mind keeps... I feel like if I probably would have been snapped while I was going on vacation, and I would have snapped back in the air because I was on a plane, and I would have just fallen to my death. Oh,
I definitely would have been snapped back on the toilet, and I would have wound up on someone's lap.
You just shat on somebody. What else did we learn?
We also learned that Maria Rambeau is the founder of S.W.O.R.D.
Yes. Now, I still am not... okay, here's something. I have a question. What is S.H.I.E.L.D. right now in the MCU?
So it depends on if you think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is integrated canon or not.
I think they're saying that that's like an offshoot parallel universe in a way. I think they're not 100%. So if we just go by the movies and not the TV show...
There is no S.H.I.E.L.D., but
did it get ended? Did it get disbanded?
There is a S.H.I.E.L.D., but it never reformed after Winter Soldier.
So after Winter Soldier, is that when it ended?
Yeah, in the movies. Yeah.
And but we could probably speculate that Nick Fury is off planet, like from the Spider-Man movies.
You know what? In Ultron, they got back together. They were able to like organize and get that helicarrier up to save the people from Sokovia, but that was just like post-destructed S.H.I.E.L.D. Like that was like former S.H.I.E.L.D. agents pulling together to save the day. It wasn't an official S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. But I mean, like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., S.H.I.E.L.D. exists.
Yes.
It's just smaller. S.W.O.R.D.,
I'm
looks like...
I'm still unsure exactly what S.W.O.R.D. is. I'm still assuming it's galactic because they do talk about off-planet.
It is. So that's where I think there's a lot of story to be told just from Monica meeting the new director of S.W.O.R.D. So the implication is that Monica should have this guy's job, this guy, Director Tyler, or whatever.
And he does, but he's not. I was assuming it was going to be, what's the other guy that kind of Abigail Brand's always fighting against?
Oh, like Henry Peter Gyrick?
That's right. I was going to say Henry Pym, but...
Yeah, he's X-Men. Yeah. You can't do him, yeah.
Oh, right. Come on. We need some Abigail fucking Brand.
Yeah.
That bitch needs to show up.
This guy basically has Monica's job. Like if Monica wasn't snapped out of existence,
She would have had it.
She would be the director of S.W.O.R.D. because her mother founded it.
But the mom...
So interesting that her mother founded it after meeting Skrulls and Captain Marvel.
Yes. Oh, yes, clearly. But she also, after the snap, decided to do a contingency plan if people got snapped back, and that was that they couldn't go off-world for a while.
Right. What the director said was that, so there's a few things I thought was interesting. Monica says, how is the astronaut training program going? And he's like, not good. After we lost a bunch of astronauts in the snap, we couldn't get the program back off the ground because other astronauts were just too scared.
Right.
So there's this notion of this astronaut training program where I'm like, Fantastic Four. And then...
Oh, Brett, yes.
Then there's the whole notion of him saying, we stopped man-made missions a while ago. Now we only do like robotic missions, like ships driven by AI and whatnot. And I'm like, all of this just sounds so Fantastic Four-ish to me. Oh my God. The other thing is once we learn stuff about S.W.O.R.D., okay, S.W.O.R.D. has the base outside of Wanda's weird, they're calling it the Westview anomaly. They bring in our friend Darcy, who now has a doctorate. Oh my God, she was an assistant in Thor: The Dark World. Now she's a doctor.
Well, you're skipping over her disappearing.
Yes, I am, deliberately. Because
okay.
Darcy mentions picking up radiation. She says, I'm picking up a lot of cosmic microwave background radiation, CMBR.
Yes.
Cosmic radiation, cosmic rays, Fantastic Four.
Oh.
So I'm like, we are being set up for Fantastic Four in this, whether we know it or not.
Okay. But the one thing interesting about that is if Wanda is creating these, and a lot of her, is it her power giving that rays? So that's why I'm curious of like, is she emitting cosmic radiation or is cosmic radiation amplifying her powers? So there's kind of a...
I will answer this. Let's go back to Infinity War, where Wong explains the Infinity Stones. And he says the Infinity Stones were caused in the Big Bang.
Right.
Cosmic, microwave, background, radiation. Tyler, the director, says, relic radiation dating back to the Big Bang. Yeah, we know. So we're talking about ancient energies. Like, Wanda got her powers from a stone that was created in the Big Bang. So that cosmic radiation, I have to think, is Wanda's powers.
So her power, but that's what I was wondering is like what, but my question is, what is it that made her power set jump so fast? So that's the thing that I'm excited to find out.
And that's where I want to say, when Darcy says, so Darcy is watching the sitcom, she picks up the TV signals, they get to watch all the sitcoms. We realize it was Darcy watching it, end of episode 1. She says somebody is censoring the broadcast. That to me is our clue that there's somebody else.
But couldn't it be, but that's the thing is like, I was going to say, couldn't it just be Wanda?
It could, but Wanda, after she shot Geraldine out of the sitcom reality for mentioning Ultron and Pietro, we see her use her movie powers, and she looks at her hands surprised and is like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So Wanda is, I think, being controlled.
There is still a villain involved.
Yeah.
It is funny. I get so many things where people are like, oh, this is what WandaVision is about. She's the villain. And I'm like, you don't know that.
No, you don't know that.
It's too early to decide that.
No, somebody's weaponized her grief.
Let's move back just really quick to what's Randall Park's, what's his character's name?
Agent Jimmy Woo, head of the Agents of Atlas.
Okay, so Agent Jimmy Woo.
Oh my God.
He shows up, Monica Rambeau, Agent Jimmy Woo. He shows up and he gives her his card, doing the magic trick he wanted Ant-Man to teach him.
So good.
I mean,
It's so good.
subtle.
It's so precious.
I fucking loved it.
I loved it.
But then it turns out anyone outside of this town, no one could get in it. There's a force bubble around it. And everyone right outside of the town have no awareness of its existence. And of course, Monica's like, let me go check. And then she sends in her helicopter, her drone. And then she goes in. And that's where we first see that drone does not look like the helicopter that Wanda found.
Yeah.
So it's literally a reality warping thing is happening once they go inside.
Yeah, things become the retro version of themselves when they go through the energy field.
Yeah, just like how we see the guy going through the tunnels to kind of check if he can get into this world underground. And when he went through, he changed into a beekeeper and the cord turned into a jump rope. Oh, I love that.
Loved it. Retro equivalents of what they had going on. So good.
And then, but for me, when Darcy shows up, I'm just like, have you seen Dollface, her show Dollface on Hulu?
No.
What's her name? Kat Dennings?
Yeah.
Watch it, Brett. Dollface,
Really?
Hulu. It's hilarious. And it's
really?
amazing.
I have like PTSD from Two Broke Girls.
No. This is 100% different from that. Trust me, watch it. It's great.
Okay.
But I love her. I love Kat Dennings and her.
She's great.
Sassiness is just, it's just exactly what you need. And I just love a nice, smart girl figuring everything out. She's like kind of one step ahead of everybody. She's like, go get me an old TV. I fucking see what's going on. And they are slowly, now we get to see they're slowly watching this sitcom slowly change into time. And they're asking all the questions we are. Why is
they're us?
Time?
Jimmy Woo and Darcy Lewis are basically us, like making notes, coming up with theories.
Why is this happening?
It's so good. She even is smart enough to identify who I'm convinced is going to be kind of a villain antagonist, but at a lower level, the sword director. The guy that basically took Monica's job.
Yeah.
She's like, he's a charmer. She's already identified that he's a total fucking asshole. I'm even thinking that guy put Monica on that mission, hoping that she would disappear. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, usually when there's like the new guy in charge, like he's the bad guy.
Oh, he's always the bad guy. Always.
But here I will say, Brett, our prediction was, well, more your prediction. Let's put it on the onus on you. You predicted that all the people inside were already sword agents.
No, they're just suburbanites.
They're just poor. But that's the thing. Were they part of that town? We don't even know that.
We don't know. I think you can conclude that perhaps they were.
But it's just regular people just trapped there.
Yeah. And I think they kind of know that they might be trapped.
And the cool thing is they're all they are confirming like Vision is dead. There is no Vision. Oof. So who is this? Who the fuck
Darcy
is this?
confirms it. Darcy is like, he's dead, right? Like not blipped, dead. And then later, when we see Vision through Wanda's eyes, he did.
So the whole part with we find out the whole part where Geraldine says Ultron. They do hear that.
That part is kept. Other parts are edited out.
But then things are just fully edited out, and we finally get to see the whole entire thing, which leads me to my favorite meme out there right now. It's showing the scene where Monica's like, where she's like, you know, it was like, Ultron killed your brother. There's a meme out there where she's like, I had a twin brother. And then Monica Rambeau goes, no. No, she goes, I have a twin. And Monica Rambeau goes, no, that's your sister, the Olsen twins. And then it cuts to her going, what did you say?
No, you're not one of the twins. And speaking of that, it looks like next week might be Full House because we're back in sitcom land by the end of this episode.
Full House.
I really hope next week's episode is called like "And We're Back" or and now back to our regularly scheduled programming, something like that.
Well, this is what I want. I want it to be like a fucking hour-long episode where it's half sitcom, half outside the world. Just because I want it to be longer.
We'll go. I think we'll get there.
I want it to be longer.
Yeah, I think we will. The remaining episodes are longer. They start to get into like just shy of an hour.
But we finally see Wanda fucking shoots poor Monica out of this world. And then tries to cover it all up. And then Vision walks in. And here's the next weird fucking part. When Vision walks in, she sees dead Vision without the Mind
with
Stone.
the big hole in his head.
What?
No color. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, and he's like, what? And she's like, oh, nothing. You look fine.
Oh, Jesus.
She's back to normal.
What is happening?
Yeah. It's like, is she Weekend at Bernieing him? Like, is his dead corpse walking around?
Or did she create him? Because that's the thing is like, oh, it's like, can you create him out of thin air? Well, she just created 2 babies out of thin air.
Why not?
Who the fuck knows what's going on?
Why not? Interesting, looking back, interesting that last episode when we were still in Brady Bunch land, that Agnes was so concerned about Geraldine and whether Geraldine was in there with Wanda.
Yeah.
I don't think Geraldine was worried about I don't think Agnes was worried about Wanda. I think Agnes was worried about what Geraldine is going to say.
Yeah, they have a fear. You could tell they're if like they're still not. I think no one's sure what's going on, but there's one thing that they are afraid of, and it's of Wanda. They're all scared of her.
Yeah,
Dottie showed that she's scared of her. That 70s show mom was scared of her.
Yeah,
Agnes is scared of her.
And so that 70s show mom, that really puts it in perspective that when her husband was choking, here are 2 regular suburbanites being mind controlled, and this woman is brainwashed, and she's watching her husband die, and she's able to kind of break through it a little bit and tell Wanda to stop.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, I can't wait.
Something else I'll say.
Yes.
I saw someone tweet this, and I was like, oh my God, you're right. They tweeted like a gif of Carol when Carol returns in Endgame and kicks the shit out of Thanos.
Yeah.
Like she's so angry and she's wailing on him. Someone just tweeted, the scene hits different when you know. And what she's suggesting is Carol knows that Maria is dead.
Oh, shit.
And is just sad and angry about it. Yeah. So good. But I'm loving Monica Rambeau. I'm loving that she's being elevated already.
I also just love she even has her current hairstyle. Like they have her down to a T.
Oh, she's going to be great.
Her.
Just already the new MCU things that we're going to start hanging hats on. Sword, Monica Rambeau, like they're all great so far.
Watch WandaVision.
Watch it. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, we did it, friend.
Yeah, everybody watch WandaVision and go out and vote. If you voted for the president, there's no reason why you shouldn't vote for who's going to be the new X-Men.
That's right. Perhaps more political ads will run if you haven't decided yet. Maybe those will influence your vote.
Yes.
So keep an eye out for them.
And I also will say this, everybody. If you do decide to vote for an X-Men, don't freak out. But that makes you
queer.
Bye.
Shazam.